Hey friends, it's now 6 a.m. and I haven't slept all night, and this is my life now. And I just wanted to make a video before I go to bed. And I have been spending the past few hours sitting around coming up with YouTube content ideas. I'm at about 70 plus ideas, and it's giving me some sense of what I will be doing. But a thing that I got a funny comment. So I was sharing these ideas on Twitter, and even before I shared it, I tweeted saying that I'm gonna plan 200 videos and then I'm gonna ignore it. And then someone asked me for like an example of what's your template for thinking about these things, what's your process, what's your how do you structure it? And like it felt dismissive to tell the truth, which is that I just improvise everything. Which isn't to say that I have no structure whatsoever, but I allow my structures to emerge organically from trial and error and from habit and from practice. Couple of reasons why I do this. Part of it is just what works best for me based on my experience and my personality type and my background and experience. I'm saying experience again. But I don't know if it worked for everybody. Some people might be better off making a plan and sticking to it. But for me, plans are worthless, but planning is priceless. What I mean by that is that, the act of planning, the act of sitting down and making a plan, is something that challenges me to make sense of the landscape of whatever it is that I'm working with. So, for example, when I'm listing out content ideas I'm trying to look at my screen to see if I can see it, but I can't really see it. No, it's a different window. Anyway, um, the valuable thing that planning does for me is that it gets me to map out the landscape that I'm going to be operating in, and maybe not the full landscape, right? Because it's a map and all maps are imperfect representations of the territory. But before you make an explicit map, the implicit map that you have in your head might be pretty small, and you may not realize this until you attempt to make a bigger proper map. But then each new way of seeing becomes a new set of blinders, right? So what expands your view in one sense, after a while it starts to cloud your vision. I think that line might be from Wittgenstein. I'm not sure. I wrote it down a long time ago in my notes somewhere and just stuck with me. That each new way of seeing things becomes limiting because initially it's a whole new lens to make sense of things, and then it becomes like the only way you see things, and then you miss things and you don't realize why you're missing them. So what I am learning to do and I'm trying to do is to make lists of ideas, and the point of that is to jog my subconscious, right? To work my subconscious, to get my mind thinking about things and perceiving things that I don't even realize that I am perceiving or not perceiving, right? So that it is getting inside my head or getting into my body, however you want to think about it, right? And so, while I was listing out the YouTube videos that I want to make, I listed out a bunch of stuff about Singapore. I listed out a bunch of stuff that will be video essays that I'm really excited about, but it's kind of more ambitious and it's gonna be more edited and there'll be visuals and everything. It's gonna be exciting, you're gonna see. But that will take some time. And I'm still gonna do these 10-minute videos every day. Anyway, it's a bunch of stuff about romance and dating and sex and relationships. There's a bunch of stuff about scenes and peopling. There's a bunch of stuff about ADHD. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to I might start generating ideas based on some topic, but I kind of explicitly don't want to get shoehorned or pigeonholed into any one topic, which I know as a marketing guy, and I'm going to make a bunch of videos about marketing as well. But like I know as a marketing guy that being so broad and doing so many things at once, it kind of slows down your growth, because the fastest way to grow is, and I mean by growth I mean subscribers, right? The fastest way to grow subscribers is to pick a niche, right, and like dominate it, right, like really cover everything in that niche. So I like be the Singapore vlogger and vlog for 3 months about everything about Singapore. I could do that, but I don't really want to, because I also know from experience that if you do that, it then becomes very difficult to escape that niche that you've carved out for yourself, where you have a large audience, but the audience has come to expect that kind of content from you. And I don't want that. I don't want to be shut into a box of audience expectations. And so I want to make sure that I'm cycling through all of my interests. And at the same time, the reason I come up with these kind of central notes of things that are recurring interests. So I'm probably gonna do, I'm gonna do like one Singapore video every week, one ADHD video every week, one thing about relationships every week. So I might make this schedule a little bit more, what's the word, visible, a little bit more public facing. I might not, but the important thing is that the structure kind of consolidates in my head, and then I don't want to think about it. I don't want to worry about it. I don't want to obsess about it. I want to deviate from it when appropriate and necessary, right? So it's kind of, I guess you could maybe say it's like a jazzy approach, like an improvisational kind of approach. So, you don't want to, I don't want to improvise around the same spot forever. So planning helps me think about other spots I could go to. And so I have these kind of broad strokes that I can follow. But I don't want to plan the trip so specifically that I don't have room for excitement, I don't have room for surprise, I don't have room for delight, right? I want to be having fun. I want to not know what I'm going to do next. And at the same time, I don't want to feel overwhelmed and scared not knowing what I'm going to be doing next, right? So it seems like a paradox, but it's not. There's like a, or it's a paradox that can be navigated skillfully. It's like, sometimes I call this chaos surfing, right? So there's chaos and you want to surf it like surfing a wave. You're never perfectly balanced. You're never kind of stable and secure. It's always kind of a balancing act, but you can, reach a certain flow and a certain zen, and that is what I'm aspiring to. I'm looking at my YouTube channel from now, and it says books, gaming, guitar, nerding out. I might rephrase that. I might talk about the ADHD and I don't know. I got to think about it. I do know I want to do some Twitch stuff. I do know I want to do. I haven't done a book review in a while, so I'll probably do that again. I haven't read books in a while. I've been editing blog posts and working on my ebook. Oh yeah, so I'm probably gonna do a bunch of videos about my next ebook, so that it partially to challenge me to work on the book, right? So talking about what's in the book kind of triggers ideas for what should be in the book, and it's a kind of virtuous cycle. That's a good thing. But yeah, I have come to learn that for me, planning is invaluable, but the plans themselves are not. And that was something that I think I struggled with when I was younger, like when I was a teenager or whatever. I would sometimes, I think when I was 20, I tried to live this very strict, regimented life for myself to discipline myself. It was an interesting experience. It didn't really work for me, and I don't know if it will or will not work for you. I'm not saying that, if a disciplined, structured process is working for you, keep it. I don't want to tell people what to do or what not to do. And yeah, it's really just in case you were wondering if it's possible to get the benefits of planning without kind of being rigid about your plans. I want to say yes. There's something about, taking notes and rehearsing, right? It's worth rehearsing, so that, and then ditching the script. Right? You rehearse with the script and then you ditch the script and you improvise. Some of the script will stay with you. And the cool thing about this kind of pattern of improvisation is that over time, you develop a sensitivity to what was most important about the plan, what was most critical and interesting and valuable about the plan. And that develops your taste. And that also makes you better at improvising on the fly. And, that means that if you have to come up with something on the spot, you start with the most valuable and interesting things, which is a very useful skill set to have. And if you have ADHD like me, and you lose the plan, you forget the plan, whatever, like, you're still fine. You can still survive. You can still figure it out. Done. Good night. Bye.